Well, folks, we have a fun one for you today. On today's episode, we are joined by someone that you may not know because of fishing. You probably know him from something very different, but he loves bass fishing just as much as you and I. Today, we are joined by platinum country music recording artist, singer, songwriter, and all-around great dude, Travis Denning. So we chat with Travis about his love of fishing, the balance between music and the outdoors in his life, his favorite fishing gear and brands, some amazing fishing stories, and more on today's episode of Tackle Talk.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Dance, and you're listening to Tackle Talk.
This is the Tackle Talk Podcast, brought to you by American Legacy Fishing and Outdoors. World-class fishing gear, unmatched personal service. Now, here's your host, Andrew Hayes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Tackle Talk Podcast. Before we begin today, I should tell you, this is one of those rare instances where I actually got my act together and I got the video for this entire episode edited and up on YouTube at the same time as the podcast. So if you're interested in watching this episode instead of just listening like you normally do with Tackle Talk, you are in luck this week. You can head over to youtube.com/Tackle Talk Podcast and you can watch or listen to the episode over there. It'll be right there waiting for you the same time that this episode drops on all the podcast platforms. We also have to give a big thank you to American Legacy Fishing, because ALF is the reason this entire episode and this entire podcast exists. But aside from giving us the means to produce this show every week, they also give you high quality fishing gear at great prices. Like right now, you can go over to the American Legacy website and they have all in stock Berkley on sale at 50% off. So that means you can get like dime crankbaits for $5.99 instead of $12. You can get money badgers for like $4.50. Powerbait plastics start at like $3 a pack. Really silly deals on Berkley over at American Legacy Fishing. They also have 25% off select Dobbins rods still on the website, active, ready to go. They also have their selection of used gear that's been restocked and a ton more. So go check them out over at www.americanlegacyfishing.com and you can use code TACKLETALK5 for an extra 5% off your purchase, including sale items. So that is your stackable code over at AmericanLegacyFishing.com. That code is TackleTalk5. Okay, everybody, you heard it in the intro. We have a really fun episode for you this week. For those of you that are country music fans, you've probably heard of our guest before. And if you're not into country music, you're about to make a brand new friend. So we are joined by Nashville recording artist and songwriter Travis Denning. So first off, before we get to the fishing side of things, Travis is a very accomplished artist in his own right, having released, I think, 4 different albums or EPs. He's got Beer's Better Cold, Dirt Road Down, Might As Well Be Me, and Roads That Go Nowhere. So through those albums and those EPs, there are songs that you might recognize as well, including the platinum #1 single, After a Few.
It always starts off innocent, but after a few drinks, it's always the same thing. We find ourselves lost in conversation at the bar.
Some others that are my personal favorites, David Ashley Parker from Powder Springs is a great song.
It didn't even matter, I wasn't 21. Had a Georgia license that said I was. David Ashley Parker from Powder Springs.
Southern Rock featuring Hardy.
I ain't forgot, I was raised on Southern Rock. Yeah. I was raised on Southern Rock.
He's got Buy a Girl a Drink, Abby, and a ton more great songs in his discography that you can go check out. But on the flip side, something you also might not be aware of is that Travis has written or co-written a lot of big songs that you may have heard throughout country music over the years for some very big names in the country music industry. Songs like I'm Gonna Love You by Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood.
I'm gonna love you.
Also, Devil Don't Know by Morgan Wallen.
It's a whole nother level, girl, even the devil don't know this kind of hell.
Some other ones, Her World or Mine by Michael Ray. He's written and co-written for, I think, Jason Aldean, Justin Moore, Chase Rice, and a ton more. Also, a fun fact is that Travis is married to the daughter of country music legend John Michael Montgomery, and she is also the niece of another country music icon, Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry. So Travis is fully intertwined in the Nashville country music scene, both as an artist, as a songwriter, and most recently as a relative. But that's not why we're talking to Travis today. We're talking to Travis today because Travis is a diehard bass angler. Just like you and me, this isn't some sort of like, oh, he's a country music artist, so yeah, he puts on a face and acts like he fishes and hunts and, holds his spinning reel sideways or something. No, Travis fishes. This is a guy that's just as ate up with bass fishing as we are. So it makes for a very fun, lighthearted, but interesting and entertaining conversation, to say the least. So with that, let's jump right into our conversation with Travis Denning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are joined by one of those really fun guests where we get to sit down and talk with someone who has made their living and is known outside of the fishing industry, but has a huge interest in bass fishing and the outdoors in general. We have the one and only Travis Denning with us. Travis, first off, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to stop by.
Yeah, man, I'm big time on dad time right now. I have a 2-month-old, so my schedule has been very busy, but not with a lot of songwriting lately. Just been with changing diapers and feeding baby. But yeah, I saw your message and I was like, dude, honestly, I hadn't heard the podcast, and I went and looked, and I saw you had my boy J Dub on here, and I was like, oh, dude, I was like, absolutely. I was like, these guys know ball, man. This will be a fun conversation. So. And any chance I get to talk about not music, I love to do it. So this is perfect.
We've heard that a couple times before, and I think we take that for granted sometimes, right? When everybody thinks, you're so lucky to, be noteworthy in something, and that's definitely true. Like, there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. It's an awesome feat. But at some point, if you are sitting there every single day and the interviews are the same questions and it's the same things, it's, oh, what kind of guitars do you have?
Right.
When did you start playing guitar? When did you know you had an interest in country music? Like, at some point you just get burnt out and you're like, man, I really would like to be like on the boat right now and out fishing. It's your escape.
Totally. What I've learned is like musicians and then just sports people love each other, because sports people want to be musicians and vice versa. And then there's no competition ever between them. So when I go hit the lake with Logan Parks, I'm going to ask him fishing questions, but I'm going to ask him his opinion on shit that he can't share with anybody else. You know what I mean? Because I'm not out to get him, and I'm not going to tell anybody. So I'm like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Hey, this person said this. What do you think about that? And I think he's kind of like, oh, I can let it rip a little. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then Logan can be like, what do you think of this thing in music? And I can let loose because it's all good. So it's a lot of fun to have that kind of Venn diagram of fishing and country music, and which I know we were talking about this before we started. You would think is a much broader overlap, but dude, it's really not. I think there's a lot of people who love to fish in country music and they love it as an escape, but the head over heels in love with smallmouth spawn and things like that. It's kind of you can count on two hands how many are diehard about it.
That's what I was going to ask. So I know, like you said, before we started recording, I think there's a lot of, in country music, sometimes there's a persona that certain people put on. And I think, those of us that grew up, out in the sticks a little bit and stuff, you can kind of tell and you can see through a lot of that stuff. So when I was looking through your pictures and videos and stuff, and you can tell really fast, you're like, oh, this dude fishes like we fish. He hasn't been out 12 times in his life. He goes out on the weekends and likes to fish. You said there's maybe a handful of others, out there in country music. Who else out there would you be like, yeah, I would feel comfortable sharing the boat with for a day that kind of knows their way around fishing?
Number one is Luke Bryan. He is 1,000% obsessed with bass fishing. And he's as legit as they come. He's a great angler. He's got some awesome ponds and fisheries and stuff. So him all day long. Trip Howell is the drummer for Landco. They're a great band. He's a great stick on the water. Those are definitely the two. Caden McGuire is an up and coming guy, and he's a great stick as well. I see him on Old Hickory all the time. So those are the three right off the top of my head. And then there's a lot that love to hunt and they love to do that, and they'll be the first to say I just don't. It's not my thing. It's not my patience. Whereas like my hunt is the big mama small jaw on the rock 13 feet under the water. That's what I want to hunt.
Amen. Well, at this point, obviously, before when people are listening to this episode, they will have heard the intro that I'll record afterwards, where I've kind of caught them up to speed on all of your career accomplishments and everything you've been able to do in the country music side, both as a performer and songs that you've written for yourself and you've played for yourself, and then the others that you've written and have become popular from other artists, Justin Moore, Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean, Carrie Underwood, Cody Johnson, like those type of people. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is like, hey, there is this other really important half of your life, which is hunting and fishing and the outdoors. For starters, I know you do both. I know you are into hunting, you're into fishing. So many people that listen to this are in that same boat. They just kind of go hand in hand. If I made you pick, which one is more important to you, hunting or fishing?
Fishing by a million miles. I love to deer hunt from a very nostalgic and pragmatic way, right? Like for me, it's the fall and football's on and I'm yelling at 18 to 20-year-olds every Saturday, and like spending the morning in the woods reminds me of my granddaddy. And then getting the opportunity at a big doe or a good buck to fill the freezer. I mean, we love venison in this household like any deer hunter, right? So, but that's kind of the extent of it for me. Like I've never bow hunted. It's something I'd probably get into at some point, but for me, hunting was always like hanging with my grandfather and a pragmatic way to get food in the freezer, right? I love to duck hunt for the camaraderie. I think that's really what a lot of people love about it. So I love spending time like that. But for me, my obsession and my desire is to be on the water, and not just on the rivers and lakes and the TVA and everything in the South, but also to like go new places. Like, I've had a chance to fish with a lot of the St. Croix guys up in like Wisconsin. Me and old Pat Schlopper wore out some smallmouth one day. And like, just that is like, that's where my passion really burns is fishing. So I would have to pick that every time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm kind of the same way where I like deer hunting a lot. I think I'm out there. If I have a good year, it's like, yeah, you put one in the freezer and you kind of get it out of your 100%.
System. Yes, that's exactly how I look at it too.
Where and there is something to be said for when I'm fishing. If I have a bad day fishing, like I'm very competitive and I'm results oriented in fishing now, where like the days of me just going out and relaxing are kind of over, and it's like, no, you're putting together patterns, you're figuring it out, you are treating this like a like there's failure or success in this. With hunting, I have a good day if I just go out, I get in the tree stand, and you get to like sit there and watch nature come alive in a way that like most humans don't get to, where you get to see the woods forget that you're there for 3, 4, 5 hours, and you see animals you don't normally see, you see interactions you don't normally see. Like that is, I guess I'm a little bit more hippy dippy when it comes to hunting, because I like that side of things. Fishing, it's like it's game on, game faces on. We are making moves, we are burning gas, we are trying to put together something. So I'm right there with you.
There's equally like any other person, like arguably one of my favorite days I've ever had in the woods was passing on 7 doe and just watching cool things happen, right? And a bald eagle and a coyote and all these things. And then there's nothing worse than like you go to sleep at night, they're generating exactly what you need on the river. Like the weather's going to be perfect. Everything's perfect. There's nothing worse than when it doesn't come together. And then there's nothing better than when it does. Like, so I'm the same way. Like I either want to catch 10 plus fish, or I want to catch one just really good keeper. And if I can do that, then like I'm at even and everything is Gucci. But like, when you go out there and just nothing happens, or you lose one and you're breaking off, I definitely, it's kind of like when my dad golfed a lot growing up, and he really loved golf. And he was like, man, the second I didn't like it anymore was when I got good enough to like expect great golf. And he's like, when I'd have bad days, it pissed me off. And so, but that's kind of the trade-off for like when you care about something. I'm the same way.
So when did it start for you? Like, is this something you grew up fishing and hunting since you were knee high, or was this something you got into a little bit later?
It was a little bit later as far as like the head over heels obsession. I mean, I fished a little bit. My dad, weirdly enough, and I guess I really wasn't ever familiar with this, but before I was born, my dad was like every little, Wednesday, Sunday night derby kind of guy, like black shear and all these things. And he loved to fish. I mean, like my mom told me stories about them, recarpeting a bass boat. And my mom's like, why the hell do I have to help you with this? So like I fished a little, but dude, honestly, for me, when it just like the bug bit me hard was early like COVID, because up to that point, man, I've been living in Nashville for 6 years. My entire focus was on succeeding in music. So I didn't really, I mean, my hobbies were music. Like my hobbies were like writing songs, and then afterwards going to the bar with my songwriter friends and like meeting people and doing that. And then when I got a record deal, it was like I'm not doing anything but unless it helps the success of my career. So I was just very like driven. Obviously, COVID hits, and it's like the first time ever I'm forced to kind of take a break. Now, fortunately, my song After a Few was already a hit and was continuing to climb the charts. So I actually did have this moment of like, well, right now I actually can take a break because like good things are happening. This song's top 10, it's gold, it's doing all these things. So I golfed, as like most people do, and I golfed a lot. And I was like, this is fun. It's something to pass the time. And then I went on Old Hickory with my buddy Trip Howell, and I caught a 6-pounder off the bed up against a seawall. And I was just like, I'm buying a boat next week. Like it was just like, and it was the perfect timing of like I said, like I was having my first hit song. So like I was finally getting some checks and some royalties. So I like for the first time in my life, I had a little bit of money I could go do something with. And I bought a Ranger RB200. It's a center console aluminum boat. And dude, it looks like I'm hunting for redfish, dude. It's hilarious. Awesome. But like, it's a great boat. It's camo wrapped. I've got it rigged up, live scope on the front, the whole thing, dude. It's such a great little bass boat now. And I've owned that boat for 5 years. And dude, the day I got it, for about 6 months, I fished probably 4 to 5 times a week because I was home. I mean, we weren't doing anything. So I got it right at the end of summer. So I immediately got headfirst into like fall fishing, which can be one of the most fun times to fish, but it's just tough. It's like, you just never know. So I immediately got thrown to the wolves on kind of learning this really niche way of fishing. And then, man, my first spring in that boat was like the most fun and exhilarating time of like, really had my chops under me finally, and like kind of knew what I was doing, and just like being on the Cumberland River when those smallmouth are spawning. I mean, I've had some of the most epic days of my life out there. So yeah, it was ever since then, that's been my thing. And, I think being like in like we said earlier, just not a lot of people are like obsessed with it in country music. So I've been fortunate to like meet some folks who, like my music, or they like country music. And we've been able to kind of trade off like experiences with each other. I go fish with you, you come to a concert, let's do all this. And that's taken me to some cool fisheries in the United States.
So I would be curious how many of you Nashville guys had sort of that similar story in 2020, because we've had our buddy Billy Strings on before, and same thing. He was a guy that,
he's a legit angler from what I've heard.
Yeah, and he grew up in Michigan, and like, kind of like all of us, like grew up fishing, wasn't really 1,000% head over heels with it. We all have that moment. You had the fish on the bed. I have a fish, literally it's laying over there behind me. Like that was the fish that set me off. Same thing. Yeah. So everybody has that moment. I think a lot of people had that moment during COVID, because Billy was the same thing. He was like, yeah, I had this time. You're cooped up. What are you going to do? Just itches, says, I want to go out fishing. And then all of a sudden you catch the bug, and it is just full blown fishing from there on out. I would bet there's a lot of Nashville guys that had that same experience and was like, I put it on the back burner because I had this sort of tunnel vision of my career and music and everything. And then you were kind of forced in 2020 to get back to some of the things of your roots a little bit. And who knows, maybe for you guys, that could have been great for songwriting and great for everything. I mean, I know you have a song about fishing. I'm sure there's a lot of that stuff where there's some experiences you had when time was off to help you later down the road, but it's definitely nice to kind of take that plunge. So as far as like the fishing community, I don't know if you've experienced this. I'm curious to ask you from your point of view. Once people find out you fish, do you get people from the fishing world that like because we are a very tight knit group. Like when we find out there's another one of us out there that's like, oh, this person is very popular in their own right in pop culture, but oh, they are a bass head like we are. We just like bear hug them and don't let them go. And it's like, you are now one of us. Have you seen people from the fishing world reach out to you when you start to put out these little, videos or photos of you fishing where it's like, one of us? Because we love that. We love it when there's someone that's like this guy is a rock star, in his normal life, but he makes fishing cool for people like us too. It's a little bit of validation.
Well, I definitely forced my way into it. I feel officially at least waist deep into it. So kind of the first, I guess, person I met, kind of started having a friendship with that was a fisher, funny enough, was Jacob Wheeler. And the GOAT, literally. And I can't remember why or how, but I followed him on all social media channels, and randomly one day he followed me back. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, maybe just like some music, whatever. And I don't know, man, I think we finally, one time I just messaged him or something, and I was like, hey, I got my dad in town, and I was like, I might take him to Chick, but also we might go to Dale Hollow. What are your thoughts? Like, it was just kind of this weird, like, I'm just going to try and break the ice. And dude, he sent me this super long, detailed message back about, he's like, oh, you can't go wrong at either one. If you go to Chickamauga, I'd go here. That's my favorite place to fish this time of year. And Dale Hollow, they should be on, but also, it's really deep and all this stuff. And, we have yet to get in the boat together, but that is definitely on our to-do list. But man, he's, I sent him, when I put out my album last year, Roads That Go Nowhere, I sent him a little care package for it, and he's sent me some Crush City stuff and some of his like clothing line stuff, and so we've kind of traded gifts and stuff. So he's a great guy. And then when Bass Pro Shops did the like $1 million nationwide amateur competition,
the U.S. Open, like 4 years ago. Yeah,
it was 2020 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so 5 years ago.
Yeah. Logan Parks and Tucker Smith won that.
Yep.
So I looked them up. I'm just like, oh, who are these dudes that won it? Well, I look up Logan, and he's following me on Instagram. So I followed him I just said, hey, bro, I was literally looking up who won, and I saw he followed me, like, congrats. And he hit me back, and he was like, dude, I love your music. We got to fish sometime. And we've really become pretty good friends. Me and him did a couple of days at Pickwick earlier this year, and it was cool to see them go to South Africa and win it.
Yeah.
So those are the two closest. Pat Schlopper and I are buddies, and we've been able to fish together before. And me and Jordan Lee follow each other. So it's like I'm in there a little bit, And like when I fished with Logan, he was like, okay. He's like, you're a stick. I didn't know it. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna say I was, but I appreciate you noticing that. Now I ain't nowhere close to those dudes. I'll never collect a check, but it's been really cool, man. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like I really am so passionate about it that I don't think that there really is just a handful of other folks in country music that are like that. So just when I get to spend time with those guys and talk and do things, I think they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is this is kind of what we deal with.
Yeah, that's a good group too, between Schlopper and Logan Parks and everybody. I didn't realize that. You're right in there. You are like a year or two away from just going full deep dive. We're gonna see in we're gonna see in the opens. We're gonna see Nashville. Who he's on the boat.
I gotta get my sponsorships way up, but we'll get there.
Don't we all?
I know, man.
So I guess when you're out on the road, then, because you do travel a lot. I know there's shows and everything, but then you get to go to some really cool places. I was looking up on your tour schedule coming up of what you've announced so far. You've got Kentucky, you've got Minnesota, you've got Texas, Florida, all really good fishing places. Do you get to sneak away and fish when you go on the road, or is it strictly like business? I'm on the bus, I'm doing whatever, I have no time to myself?
It just depends. I will say, like, fishing on the road is just kind of difficult because it's a very, it's an early morning kind of thing, right? Most of the time. So normally if we're on a bus, we roll into the next town in the morning. Like normally, you just never know. Sometimes it's an 8-hour drive between shows. Sometimes it's a 3-hour drive between shows. But So normally we're kind of getting there at like 7 in the morning, and I'm probably still asleep. And so it's one of those things like by the time you wake up, get breakfast, all that, I've got like 4 hours between that and sound check or anything I've got to do. So it can be kind of difficult. I've had some cool opportunities though. Specifically, like I can remember I played a show outside of Tulsa, and I've got a great friend named he goes by Guck, Alan McGuck, and he's kind of more on the industry side of things and PR. And he just picked me up at the venue, had the boat on the back of the truck, and we went and fished Sky Took for a couple hours. And things like that, man, is awesome when that gets to happen. And then anytime we're kind of Florida, anywhere like saltwater wise, you can at least go like hit the surf for like an hour or two or something. You might not catch anything, but it's just fun to do. But yeah, it's so tough because like for the golf guys, you just have your golf clubs and you can golf whenever, and you can do the front nine and you can do whatever you want to make it short. But I wish I could do it more than I do, because it's definitely not a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think we were recording when we said this, but it's the same thing. It's like a golf guys, like you said, that can be a couple hours and done. When we want to go out fishing, we want to be out for like 12 plus hours. Like it's an all day affair. So it's not like I'll just sneak away for 45 minutes and come back. That's not what we're doing here.
Right. Like to me, like a short session is like 6 hours. Yeah. Like and I have plenty of, especially when I'm writing a lot in town. I write most every day that I'm home. In the spring, especially April, I'll I might go fish 6 to 9, and it feels like you blink and it's over. It's like, so it's just one of those things that's so time consuming. But I try to keep a good stick on the bus, and maybe there's a pond on the venue, maybe there's something nearby, and I'll go backpack and YouTube it a little bit, like a YouTube fisherman out there. But I've had fun doing that, man. Just anything to set the hook, and just kind of set the hook and get your mind right. Any opportunity on the road, I'll find it.
Okay, I got a bunch of nitty-gritty fishing questions for you, if you're okay with that. So let's start vague, and then we'll work our way real specific here. So for starters, I know I've seen pictures. You target smallmouth, largemouth, spots, everything. What's your favorite? Like, if gun to your head, smallmouth, largemouth spots for the rest of your life, what are you going?
I'm going smallmouth, spot, and largemouth in that order, but it's smallmouth by a million miles. I think I don't even that's just like my end all be all. We have some spots here in Nashville on the Cumberland River that can be utterly special. And God, I wish I lived in Wisconsin every spawn, dude.
I know.
It just bums me out, bro. I catch a 3-pounder here and I'm so pumped. And they're like, yeah, we're pulling 6s off beds in clear water. I'm like, so smallmouth is number one.
Well, and they have so much fishable water up in places like that. Like where I'm at, I try and explain to like my buddies that live in Minnesota or Wisconsin or somewhere, and I'm like, dude, from my house, if I get in my truck right now, there are 3 lakes within an hour and a half. Like, I mean, there's nothing. There's not a lot of opportunities. Like, that's why we're in knee-deep farm creeks and we're wading these, gross rivers, because it's all we have, like, to fish, and you make the best out of it. So, yeah, if you could go up there in, like, the Minnesota area or Wisconsin area where you've just got, like, you look at the map and it's just boop, 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 lake. Yeah. Wouldn't know where to start. Would be awesome. Same thing down in Florida. My parents live in Central Florida, and, like, there's a lake every 5 feet.
Everywhere. Just everywhere. And like, I mean, Florida strain bass, tigers and F1s and all that, it's just like, it is unbelievable, the largemouth down there and the capabilities. But yeah, I just, a Wisconsin small jaw off a bed is just awesome.
So when you were growing up then, because you're a Georgia boy, obviously growing up, was there smallmouth down there too? Or was that pretty limited in terms, you had no smallmouth fisheries?
There are no smallmouth in Georgia. Maybe Chattooga, maybe. Although that's more like spotted bass, but we do have shoal bass, and shoal bass are like a warm water smallmouth. They look very similar, but their bars are like a lot wider. So like, they might only have 4 or 5 bars, and man, they look unbelievable. They are located literally only on the Chattahoochee River. Like that's literally the only place in the world they exist. And down in like Leesburg and Albany and down in South Georgia, like near where Luke Bryan's from, that's like where the world record is going to be. I think the world record was caught pretty recently, but I mean, it's down there in Southwest Georgia. So that's one cool thing we have, but obviously like Lanier and Chattooga are like spotted bass, like havens, like they're great places.
Yeah, Asholi is on my bucket list for sure to go down and catch. And because it looks like you took a largemouth sized body and you just painted it smallmouth. Like it's like a hybrid of the two, obviously. Very, very cool kind of subspecies down there.
Interesting looking fish, man, but I think they're really cool.
So as far as types of water then, like, I mean, when you're up in Nashville, are there any places where you're actually getting in and like wading or, you know, moving water, anything like that, small water? Or are you pretty much like big Cumberland River, big lake guy?
I have big water up here. There is like, you know, like the Caney Fork is a river that you can wade. I mean, it's definitely like a trout fishery, and there are smallmouth in there. And that's actually where I've caught some of the biggest striper I've ever seen in my entire life. I've got a buddy who he's got the juice, he's got the spots and all that stuff. It's like one of those, he's like, if you tell anybody where this happened, I will kill you. So that place can be very special, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm slowly dipping my toe into the fly fishing world. I did my first saltwater fly fishing trip last year for redfish, and it was really fun. It's just so different. I mean, it's just.
Were you sight fishing them?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like seeing tails, and you know, I'm just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and just trying to get out in front of them and do like 15-mile-an-hour winds. I was just like, oh, this is trial by fire to the upteenth degree. But yeah, I'm a big water guy. I think I like being on the front of a boat.
Do you like the fly fishing side of things? Like now that you've dipped your toes in it, like I've never fly fished in my entire life, hand up. Yeah. And the people that do fly fish around here, it's a lot of small river, like really tight quarters for trout, which is not a great place to learn how to fly fish, by the way. When you've got, 7 feet of casting lane total, like I'm going to be in the trees the whole time, where I guess if you're out on saltwater, you can learn because you're open.
Right. Yeah. It's, I just like fishing. So I definitely enjoy it. I don't know if I'm like head over heels in love with it yet, but I think after this trip I do again, I'll be a little bit more prepared. And I hope it goes really well, but I think it's really cool. And I think when you fly fish out west, I mean, dude, you fly fish in like the most beautiful places in America, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, like Montana. So it's like, who cares, man? You're just like, you look around and you're like, I'm literally in the most amazing creation. And so I think that's an aspect of it that could be a lot of fun. But I like having my foot on a Minn Kota, dude. That's just I like having a trolling motor. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So let's talk like actual brands. Like, what are some of your favorite brands that you gravitate toward? Whether that be, I'll leave the door open to you to start, but like rods, reels, line, baits. Like, are there any that you just, as you look around in your gear, you've kind of gravitated toward? I know you mentioned St. Croix earlier.
Yeah, well, St. Croix rods are basically all I throw. I mean, they're called the best rods on earth for a reason. I think they're just so well balanced. And I think like, there's a bit of a learning curve to like the grip and stuff because they are so like, they're not small. It's not dainty. It's just, man, their profile is so low. So you have to learn these things, but like, dude, you just don't feel them in your hands. As far as reels, I'm kind of all over the place, man. I mean, I like a Lew's Speed Spool. They've really never let me down, but I mean, honestly, a lot of Abu Garcia stuff is great too. Logan would be killing me that I didn't say that first, but and then man, I really like the Dirty Jigs, the little 1/0 hooks, like swim heads that they have. I know a lot of people aren't super big into those, but dude, that, and then there is a 6 Sense swim bait in, I guess it's just a Pro Shad color, like heavy purple, heavy silver with flake. That on the Cumberland River year round is just the juice. Like, I don't even know. I could throw something almost identical and they won't bite, but that gets it. So, those are kind of some of my favorite things. I love setting the hook. That's my favorite way to catch a fish. So, like throwing a shaky head with a swim bait or maybe like a Z crawl or something like that. That's kind of hard to beat for me. Like getting it up in those rocks and getting in those places. And then Rapala as far as cranking. I've never really thrown anything else.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm a DT guy, like through and through. If I've got a deep crank, I mean, I'll throw some Strike King XDs every once in a while, but if you look in my deep cranking box or my mid divers and below, like it's a lot of Rapala.
Dude, the Disco Shad DT8 is just like one of my favorites. It's just hard to beat. It just gets bites. And in the fall, it's on probably my second stick, like all the time.
Yeah, I saw a video. I it might have been with Bass University. I can't remember, but I saw a video of you out on. I think it might have been Chick, and
it was Kentucky Lake.
Okay, that's what it was. It was Kentucky Lake. Yeah, and I was just like, you could watch you. I think you were fishing a jig, and like watching you just do the step back and just get ready to rip one, and you're like, yeah, this guy like waits all day to be able to get out and just set the hook like a maniac.
Dude, it's so funny. Like who doesn't have a little YouTuber in their hook set, right? Like it's like you kind of want to show it off a little bit. It's that front one back boom. Like if I don't hurt my shoulder, I'm not fishing, right? But it is funny when I do that, and then it's like a 13-inch smallmouth, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just gave you a concussion. But dude, you know what? I'd rather set my life on a rock than halfway set on a 5-pounder and she shake it off. So we jerk them, and then I mean I don't hardly throw anything under 12-pound fluoro. Oh, that's also I'm a Seagar line guy for life. I will never throw anything else. Seagar everything.
What line? Like in particular, like what fluoro do you normally use?
The yellow brand. For leader I'll throw red just because it's like, it's a leader, but it has never let me down. But yeah, I throw 12, and bro, there ain't no 12-pound smallmouth in that river, and you're lucky to catch a 4 or 5. So it's like we set the hook on that thing, and it's Gerald Swindle used to say pencil sharpener. I'm getting your ass in the boat. You get out of the rocks, get out of the crap. You're mine now.
Have you dipped your toes at all into the big bait world?
Like not
swim
really.
baits, glide baits, any of that? Have you fallen down that rabbit hole yet?
Not really, because that's just not what I target. Like I'm fishing for like river smallmouth, and they eat small. Like they don't really eat big. So I mean, the biggest smallmouth I ever caught was on a 2.8-inch swim bait. I mean, just something right there. So
you want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy? So I'm fishing similar water to you, right? I mean, it's 6 foot and under deep rivers. I mean, I'm standing in between a dumped car and a couch in the middle of the river, just like fishing is. This fish that I'm about to show you was caught on a 7-inch glide bait about 15 minutes away from me.
I can't wait to see it. Holy hell, bro.
That is I can't even get back here. That's a 7-inch swim bait fish. I used to be such a non-believer in like the big bait world because I was the same as you. I was like, dude, you should see what I'm fishing. Like there's absolutely no way that these fish are even remotely coming close to touching something that is, over the size of a dollar bill. Like, what are you talking about? And I just learned, dude, if you are around those smallmouth, there is something about the drawing power of some of those big 6-7-inch baits. I've caught 8-inch fish on a 7-inch bait before.
Crazy. Well, dude, there was a TikTok that went viral of a guy who caught, I mean, dude, it would have had to been like an 8-pound bass, but he caught this fish, and when he got it to the boat, its stomach completely ruptured, and he was throwing like a 7-inch shad wrap kind of glide bait, and it had eaten a literal 12-inch long gizzard shad, and he was so full that when he fought, it ripped out. So I could scroll through my TikTok. I saved it a long time ago, but he laid that shad down, and then his 7-inch glide bait. And same thing. He's like, if y'all think they are not eating these, you're crazy. And it is true. I mean, dude, they're freshwater sharks. They eat whatever. I mean, if they're hungry,
they're opportunistic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's so I don't know, boom, boom, boom. Like you're not really burning a glide bait or anything. It's just
Right.
kind of like making that S swaver. And I've seen it have a drawing power. Like I have been up against a laydown or whatever, and you've thrown everything in your mind against that thing. You've gone everything from the smallest Ned rig to a chatterbait to whatever to try and draw something out of there. And then the second you throw some obnoxious 7-inch bait out there, oh, here comes Big Mama looking out. Like, oh, that's something I haven't seen before. And even if they don't commit to it, then you throw the follow-up bait behind there and you get that fish to come out. We've had that happen a couple times before where you draw them out of the wood pile or whatever with the glide, and then you throw back in with a spinner bait or with a jig or something and you pop them. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. So bait wise, like specific bait, if I say, Travis, you have to pick 5 baits to go in your like emergency bag to take with you, specific baits, what are you taking with you?
The first thing I'm gonna take is probably a 3/8 ounce, like 2/0 hook on a, just like a swim jig. And I'm gonna throw a 3 to a 3 1/4, probably a 6 cents pro shad, anything kind of pro shad color. And I'm gonna throw that on like a 7 to 1, 7.5 to 1. I'll just slow it down if I need to, but I just love a good soft plastic and a paddle tail, of course, like just easy working it, bouncing off stuff. That'd be number one. A shaky head with some kind of crawfish presentation, on a, an 8 to 1, and kind of just work it like a worm, just get it down the cracks and all that stuff. Probably DT10 disco shad. And I mean, definitely a spook, for top water. Just a bone spook. And then for 5, man, I mean, I don't know, bro. I might have to go just a white spinner bait with a gold and silver blade. And just throw, I mean, give me an ounce. I don't give a damn how heavy that is. I mean, I think those 5 things are probably what I always tend to throw, I think Edwin Evers said one time, he's like, bass eat 3 things. They eat crawfish, shad, and bluegill, and that's about it. So it's like anything to like get close to that presentation, I think is the best way to do it.
That's a very impressive top 5 for right off the top of your head too. I mean, you've got every, water column area covered. You've got everything. You got a swim bait, a shaky head, a DT10, a spook, and a spinner bait. Hats off to you. As far as like top 5s right off the dome, pretty darn good.
Man, I mean, that's what I catch fish on. And that's really why it's that easy. I mean, I could be like, a football jig. I can't, at least where I live, that don't work, right? And so I just go off of what I know how to do. And then you can go to places and do that. And if it don't work, then figure it out. Try something else.
That's the way I am with the swim jig. Everybody that I talk to is like, swim jig is like, if you fished where I fished, you don't even own a swim jig.
Right.
Like, you just don't use it around here. We have no weeds. We have nothing. Okay, so you've got to fish a lot of really cool places in your life. Is there anywhere that's still on your bucket list that you say, you know what, if I just like could snap my fingers and take a week and go somewhere, even if it's out of the country, in the country, doesn't matter. Is there somewhere that you want to go?
So I'm going to flip the tables on you, and I'm going to give you one guess. I'm a smallmouth lover. All right. Yeah. There's one place I want to go.
I'm trying to guess where you may have and may haven't been. My two go-tos are St. Clair and the St. Lawrence River. Is it one of those two?
St. Lawrence River is my number one bucket list. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'd like to do St. Clair as well, but dude, when I saw Jacob Wheeler's recap the year he won Angler of the Year, pick one.
Yeah, which one?
Yeah, exactly. Well, his championship round, they finished there, and he hung like 124 pounds.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and watched that, and I'm like, that's where I'd like to go. And I also think it's funny that, like, you can't, if you go too far, you better have your passport on you. Like, I think it's just, it'd be so cool. So I actually talked to Logan about that, and I said, look, the next time y'all have St. Lawrence on the Elite Series, I was like, me and Madison will fly up there. You bring the wife, and let's make a trip out of it. Because that is my dream. And honestly, most anglers I've talked to, they usually have that in their top 3 or top 5.
So if you go to the St. Lawrence, then are you good with your scope? I know you say you have it on your boat.
I'm not nearly as good as people like Logan and stuff. I'm okay at it. Honestly, I use the scope to find where fish ain't. And that's normally the best way to use it for me. And then I use it for like if I'm setting up on like a channel swing or like a big ledge or something, just to know exactly where it all is. But I can count on one hand how many smallmouth I feel like I've actually caught on screen. Normally it's like, all right, there's the rocks, there's the gap, and then there's the ledge. So I just know where my thing is. But I do think I've also never really fished a place where it's like a really good tool to use. I got a buddy, his name's Andrew Green, and that's what we've talked about. He's like, man, nothing in Nashville is really scopable. Like, it's just not. He's like, you go to Lanier or Chattooga and you get in those 30-foot ditches, you're dotting up some spotted bass, and you can use
suspended fish that are really easy to find and see on the scope. And it's for me, I think I'm kind of in the same boat where I use it to eliminate a lot of water for sure. I use it to line up that precise cast to know exactly the angle I need to take to fish that, brush pile or whatever it is I'm trying to cast to. But then also you have to be in a place that doesn't have a ton of trash fish. And around here, it's trash fish palooza. I mean, it's carp, catfish, suckers. You wouldn't believe how often suckers and stuff look like a smallmouth glued to the bottom, and it's just 5 sucker fish all together, like all that kind of stuff. You just end up wasting your time and throwing your jerkbait at a bunch of carp for.
Well, that's exactly. I've learned what a carp looks like and a bunch of gar looks like and all that, and that's like nice to know that. But like on Percy Priest and stuff, which is that is a very tough lake to fish here, but I do think if you learn it, it can be really productive. When you pull up on a point, you can know pretty fast if it can produce. And it's just, you ain't even got to see bass. If you can just see bait, and if you can just see bluegill or crappie, you just know fish are there. But man, when you pull up and you just see that yellow line going up like that, just pull that trolling motor up and go somewhere else. So that's how I've always looked at it. Obviously that is like the hottest topic in the world right now, but like, here's my opinion, and this is all I'll say. If they want to get rid of it, if they want to do the coin toss, that's totally fine. What I don't like, and what I think is funny, is reading the YouTube comments of people saying that it's a rich man's game and that people are just good at fishing because they have scope. If you put Jacob Wheeler in a John boat with a paddle, he'll hang 18 plus pounds on you no matter what boat you're in. And so that just annoys me, right? Like, I see these people, I'm like, these people think like fish. They are fish. Take the scope. Well, I don't care what you do. They'll hang a 25-pound bag on you all day long without even thinking about it. So that's my only opinion on it.
You could give them one bait and one rod, and like you said, give them a John boat, and you could give me every toy that I want, and they're going to wax the floor with me over 8 hours.
Oh yeah,
not even close.
100%, because they've been studying that lake for years or months leading up to it, and they know everything. So that's my one opinion on it. I mean, it's probably good for the sport to slightly wrangle it in. I do agree with that. There's probably nothing wrong with that, but we'll see. I think it'll be good. I just think anything to help viewership. I think that's the only thing they struggle with right now, is just like getting people excited about the sport of bass fishing. It seems to have slightly waned a little bit, over the last 20 years. So
yeah, I think the big problem is that we've fractured the sport so much.
Right.
Like, it's not like, if you're a basketball fan, you watch the NBA, right? That's where all of the top talent funnels to. That's what everybody's trying to get to. That is the one product that you watch. In fishing, we've created 7 different products that now are all competing for a very small audience at once. You've got MLF, on the Bass Pro Tour, you've got the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals, the Bassmaster Elites, Bassmaster Opens, the MPFL, the BFLs, the Toyotas, like everything. You have all of these circuits competing for what is a not giant group of people in the first place. So, I wish you would see some consolidation go back into fishing, but that could be a 5-hour conversation that
100%. I'm with you too.
In its own. Yeah. Okay. So some fishing stories really fast. So I want to ask you about some of your favorite memories fishing. I have one that I have read about. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw this at one point. I saw a story, and I don't want to give too much of it away, of a very noteworthy person's pond that you caught a very large fish at. His initials might be J.O.
Yes, this is a true story. Also part of the bug that bit me, right? So the week that after a few went number one. This was the week leading up to it. It was a Tuesday. I basically knew it was going number one, but you still never know. Like, it's just a whole, I mean, the charts are such an interesting game, right? And so Monday, I'm on and off the phone with the record label and the head of like the promotion department. And they're like, it's looking pretty good. We're 500 points up, but so-and-so's got a record that's kind of doing well. Blah, blah. So I start celebrating. I'm like, who cares? So Monday, I get hammered with the boys. I mean, it's just, it's just COVID, right? So I got one of my best friends staying with me, and we got nothing to do. We wake up Tuesday, we're hurting, we're licking our wounds a little bit. We make some food. And I'm like, man, I want to go fish. Like, let's go fish. And my buddy Jared Mullins, he's like, well, Jake said we could go out to his pond. It's like, it's stupid. It's an acre and a half, and it's just loaded. So we go out to Jake's place, and this was actually the first time me and him had met, but we had a lot of mutual friends, and we've since become really good friends together. I toured with him in 2022, and we get out there, and I was like, what are they eating on? He goes, I just throw just absolute shell crackers of bluegill in here, just big old bluegill. And it was a super healthy pond, and he had specifically bought, I mean, this is like some rich country music singer stuff, but he had specifically bought some absolute just crazy eggers. Like, I think he had bought like 3 7-pounders, 2 8s, and then he bought like 2 9s from this fishery, right? It's just stupid. And he says, bluegill is really what they're munching on. So I threw on like a black and blue chatterbait, and I threw something green pumpkin behind it. I'm like, that'll be close. And yeah, dude. I found one of the 9s. At least that's my story. I'm sticking to it because it was just, I mean, belly rolled over, took the chatterbait. I'm just hanging on for dear life. And this is like, I mean, this is 2020. It's still kind of early in my I could throw a stick, but I just didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't know drag really well. I didn't know how to work a fish. So I got that fish out, and it's just absolute toad. Definitely the biggest largemouth I've ever caught. I put an asterisk by it because it's a pond, but it was pretty epic. And so that was another moment of like, this is pretty cool. I'd like to do this more often. And yeah, Jake's pond haunts my dreams all the time. I think it turned over this year, which kind of sucks. So he'll have to get it back up and running, but it's a good pond.
So that's Jake Owen, by the way, in case anybody is wondering or listening to this. Yeah, country singer Jake Owen.
Barefoot 9-pounder. Blue Jean 9.
Yeah, 9-pounder. Do you have a picture of it? Did you get one?
I do, yeah. I'll send it to you. It's on my Instagram.
I want to see
somewhere.
This fish. Yeah,
the highly debatable 9-pounder from all the trolls on the internet, but it was a stud.
That's awesome. Do you have any other memories that stick out to you? That obviously you had the fish on the bed that really kind of set it off for you. You've got a 9-pounder. I mean, that's going to be on anybody's top 10 list. But are there any special days or special moments out on the water that you can remember? They're I guess in my Rolodex of top 10 moments out fishing or whatever, that would be one of them.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite memories was the guy who sold me my Ranger is a couple childhood buddies' dad. So, he hooked it up. He got me this boat. It was a pro staff boat, and I was able to buy it. And it was just a really cool thing. And I wanted to take him fishing, right? To just as a thank you. So we finally lined it up. I was like, man, come up here like the 1st of May. I'm like, it'll be spawn, it'll be good and all that. And this was my first oh crap day on the river of this place is special. Now I'd caught like a 3.5-pounder in December of 2020. It was 18 degrees. I mean, the guides are freezing up on it. Just brutal. So I caught a 3.5 that day. So I was like, all right, cool. I know the spot. I know where they hang out. Well, when I say this had to be the last smallmouth spawn that day, it was just insane feeding frenzy. It's the kind of day where they're pulling the right amount of water, not too much, not too little. It hasn't rained in 2 weeks. The water is perfectly green. It's just perfect. And we literally threw 4 and 5 inch finesse worms, just like watermelon seed finesse worms on shaky heads. And it was just, I mean, dude, if we had the MLF tracker, the boys would have been way up. I mean, I think we probably caught 60 or 70 pounds worth of smallmouth. It was just so awesome. So to be able to like give him that, like that day as a thank you for the boat, that was just like really special, and just kind of harps on like what's great about fishing. You know, my dad's first smallmouth, he caught a 4-pounder on the river. I was able to put him on one. That was like really cool. And so just those moments, man. And a lot of those moments come out of the Cumberland River, which is really cool because it's where I live. It's like every day I fish in the spring and in the fall, it's just another day where it could be another moment. And I'm very grateful and thankful that I got a place 15 minutes down the road that I can do that. So those are definitely like the top three. The Jake one was pretty sick. It was to hang a 9-pounder on the week that I had the #1 song in the country. I was like, I'm unstoppable, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I have made it, man. It was just awesome. And funny enough, that night we went to the Mexican restaurant in Kingston Springs, which is where Jake lives. And at dinner, I saw my head of promotion at the label. And I walked up to him. I said, where are we sitting? And he pulled up the real-time chart. And we were like way ahead. And he was like, I'm calling it right now on a Tuesday. You have the #1 song in the country. And it was just like, just the most epic week of my life. You know, it was awesome.
That's the day you just wish you could bottle up and just repeat over and over and over again.
The only thing that will top it is when my daughter is old enough to go fish and when she catches her first one. That'll be the only thing that tops it.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little ways out from that because she's 2 months old, but she'll know how to swim a jig for sure.
That's awesome. So another thing, I guess I probably should have mentioned earlier, you have written a song called I Went Fishing. And that was a song that I think it's cool because at the last sentence, next to last sentence, where it says something like, when I had to shut the whole world off, even just for a minute, like I went fishing, like that type of thing. And I think that rounds back to what we talked about at the beginning, which is like, that's why so many of us fish and so many of us go out and do this, is like, it is the one chance to, your phone shuts off, your email shuts off, you know, all the work kind of goes away, and you can go kind of into like caveman mode a little bit and just be like, look, it's me, nature. I'm back to like what my DNA was meant to do, just like be out here and be one with nature. The other thing I wanted to kind of commend you on, and this kind of goes back to your fishing prowess, is I think it's an awesome flex to be able to write a song about fishing just so you can make a video for it where you get to insert all of your fishing pictures in it. That is top tier flex right there.
Flexes, yeah. I need to update it because I've got more pictures since. Just more.
I was watching that, dude.
Man,
there's snook, there's striper, there's giant largemouth, like huge flex. We're all out here just like posting to our little Instagram. You're like, nah, let me just write like a full blown song, make a music video, and insert my, you know, oh, by the way, I am a stick. I can catch fish too.
I know, man. Dude, it's absolutely, you're on to my whole thing now, dude. That was the whole point. It's the ultimate Instagram. It's like the ultimate Tinder profile picture for a man, right?
Yeah.
Like all women talk about they're holding a fish. I did a whole music video for it. It was great. But yeah, man, dude, that song is, that was a COVID song. I wrote it, you know, on Zoom with some buddies. And yeah, I just had the title, I Went Fishing. And I just got thinking about, you know, I think we finally found out that like, all the tour dates were going away. And it was like the first time we realized, oh, this ain't going to be 2 weeks. This is going to be like a pain in the ass for a little bit. And I was just like, you know, I was bummed out. I was like, man, I don't feel like I get to capitalize on this moment, my career, but I was still thankful I had it. And yeah, I just wrote that down. I went fishing. And my first thought was like, all right, like what are all the things that just a man goes through, right? Like as a boy, it's like you lose your first dog and that just, it's devastating. And then like your first heartbreak and then all these things. You know, for me, man, like when I fish, I care about two things in that exact moment. I care about what is under the water. Like when I just look at the water first thing in the morning, I'm just like, I'm so excited to see if Big Mama's under there. And then all I care about is like putting together the pieces to try and get her. And that's all you think about. And then when you get out, you know, you've spent time away from that. Man, I just wrote a song the other day that I sent it to Luke Bryan. He didn't text back, so whatever. I guess he's not going to record it. But I mean, I wrote a song called "Fishing by Myself," and it's really a story about like all the things your dad kind of teaches you. And it's just like, man, I swear I'm with him even when I'm fishing by myself, because I can hear him saying, tighten up your drag, keep your rod tip up, and him talking shit and saying he's got more fish than I do and all these things, because those things happen subconsciously while you're out there, right? Like, it's like you are only focused on these things, but it frees up your mind for the ride back to the boat ramp to like think about what you got going on that week, or if something's been bothering you, whatever it is. And I think people find that in a lot of ways. I'm just lucky I found it doing the thing I really like to do.
Yeah, it's dude therapy. Dude therapy is
dude
fishing.
therapy.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know I've kept you a little bit longer than I said I would, so I'm sorry about that. But before I let you go here, one last thing. I have one final question. If you can share the boat with 3 people for a day, and I want to put a caveat in here, no family members, because I think we would all kill for like another day with our grandpa, everybody like that. So that's taken for granted. Family aside, if you could pick 3 like notable or semi-notable people to share a day in the boat with, who would you like to go fishing with?
Well, I'll put Jacob Wheeler in there just because we haven't done it yet, but I think we will fish together soon. So we'll put him there. Dude, number 2, Steve Harvey. So like Steve Harvey, he loves to fish, and I love Steve Harvey. Like he has so many great like inspirational quotes and things that I've really always held on to. So that'd be super cool. Man, third up, I don't know. I gotta think about this one. It's so easy to try and just find sports people and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, dude, let's go with the man. I think fishing with Bill Dance would be a very special experience. It's just hard. I know that's so basic, but like the guy who sparked it for our parents and everything and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll say J-Dub / Kevin Van Dam, just in case I do get to fish with Jacob at some point this year. KVD be pretty dope. KVD, Steve Harvey, Bill Dance. I think that's a good
trio. I love the Steve Harvey pick too. So I was down at ICAST this year, and we were at the industry breakfast in the morning, and Steve Harvey just walks up.
Yeah, that's right. There. I remember seeing a couple things go viral.
What?
Yeah.
And I knew he fished, but I didn't know that he was going to be there or anything like that. And he got up and he talked about, he does this really cool charity arm, I think, where he takes kids out fishing, that might be going through some stuff, and that's kind of their way of helping them get through that. And yeah, he was going around ICAST, and you could tell he like knew his way around fishing gear quite a bit too. Again, he wasn't one of those people that's like holding the spinning reel upside down or holding the spinning rod upside down or whatever. Like, he knew what he was doing, and I was like, oh, it's really cool. Again, it's another one of those pop culture guy likes doing what we like to do. I think that's
cool.
I
mean, honestly, Deion Sanders is also a pretty big stick. I mean,
Travis Hunter too. Yeah, both of them.
Travis Hunter, yeah, dude. I mean, Deion Sanders got arrested at an airport for trespassing because they told him not to keep coming back, and he was wearing them out, and he was like, whatever.
Yeah. What are you going to do? I'm faster than you. Guarantee I'm faster than you.
The commitment, bro. I love it. Yeah. If it's a running contest, I'm winning. Yeah.
You're getting smoked. Well, everybody, again, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're listening to this, go check out travisdenning.com. See if he's coming somewhere near you in the next year. The new, most recent single, I think, Sick of Being Sober, is out now, obviously. But that is the one and only Mr. Travis Denning. Travis, thank you so much for stopping by Tackle Talk today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That is our episode with Travis, a very busy dude, so we appreciate him sitting down and talking to us. Go check him out. Great guy, great songwriter, awesome musician, amazing guitar player in his own right, too, in the country space. But most importantly to us here at Tackle Talk, a guy that really loves the sport of fishing. And we said it in the episode, but I'll speak for myself here, I guess. I think it's cool to see people from pop culture or music or sports that are actually into real fishing, because it's a bit of like validation for us. It makes us feel like, oh, it's not weird to be obsessed with fishing. It's cool. There are people out there who are cool in their own right, from whatever they're famous for or known for, who are just as obsessed with the same thing as we are. And I think that's always fun to see from the other side. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to subscribe. Find us on the web, tackletalkpodcast.com. You can find us on both Instagram and Facebook at Tackle Talk Podcast. And we'll see you right back here next Tuesday for another brand new episode of Tackle Talk.